All right, I apologize for that long-windedness, but that's literally what happened. So back to the slides, the VA, no prepayment penalty, so they do have the privilege to prepay. VAs are assumable by other VAs. Other vets can assume a VA loan from another vet. It's $500. Here's the problem. Walk through this with me. The VA goes and gets his C of E, his certificate of eligibility, goes to the bank, gets a loan, buys a house. Now, in a normal transaction, when the sale comes in, he pays off his loan from the bank, which frees up his certificate of eligibility that he can then use for the next house, right? But if he lets someone assume the house that he used his certificate of eligibility on, there's no new money coming in. That loan is still in place. So his certificate of eligibility is still tied up in that property, and when he goes to buy his next house, he does not have the backing of the VA. So while they are assumable, I have never been involved in a deal where they did that, because that guy wants to take his certificate of eligibility with him to the next property, so they just do a regular sale. All right?
So I guess the case that would happen is if they give it to a younger vet and they're going into like retirement.
Yeah, that would be a good example, would be as if that person's going to go into, say, a retirement home and doesn't need to buy a next house, and he could let that new vet assume it. That would probably be the scenario that would most likely. All right? Or maybe he doesn't need the certificate of eligibility. Maybe he's gotten rich in a business and is going to go get a conventional loan. But typically, it doesn't because of that reason. Like I said, they may happen. I've never been involved in a deal in 17 years where they let it assume. Now, there's another loan from the Farm Services Agency called Farmer Mac. Farmer Mac, or a USDA loan or an ag loan. It is designed for low-income, low-population areas, and originally the intent was to increase farmers moving into the rural area to allow them to produce ag stuff. Since then, it has been used by, finger quotes, normal people. That's not the right word. Let's put other people in those areas. The problem with the USDA loan is not only does the person have to qualify, the property must qualify too. Okay? For example, I do not believe there are any properties in Marion County that will qualify for a USDA loan. The population's too high, the average income's too high. That's not what it's designed to do. But every house in Morgan County counts because it's a low populated area, average income's lower, they want people out in those rural areas. Now there's a site, if you go to USDA.gov, I think, and you jack around with the site long enough, you can get to the portion of the web page where you literally just type in an address, and it'll tell you this house qualifies. Yeah, you can Google it, but I mean literally it's that simple. You can find it. The good thing is if you're the listing agent, that's a good thing to think about, because the USDA currently will loan 100% plus closing costs. So you can get about 103% loan. You can also get help from the other side. My last closing, we were the listing agent on a deal where the buyers used a USDA loan. And it was quite horrific for us. Because like I said, had an inspection, buyer said inspection's good.
Does that mean that the buyer could qualify for more money?
Can the buyer qualify for more money? No, they actually just qualify, period. Where they normally wouldn't qualify probably through FHA, lower income, lower credit score, has no cash, none of it. That's what it's designed. It's even lower than FHA. That's not true. And the reason it's not true is because it changes every once in a while. So it depends. Because like I know FHA loan now will go down to 580. But you can't have 3.5% down. At a 580 credit score, you got to have 10% down for an FHA loan. And that's what I'm saying. That's not our job. So it's kind of hard to start memorizing or reading on the web or stuff like that because it changes so quickly. This deal, their credit score was below a 640, way below a 640.
But then it probably had to be manually.
I don't know. I was not on that side. Actually, no, it was not manually underwritten because this actually was a USDA direct loan. It was not a USDA brokered loan. And I wasn't going to get into that, but this is the USDA is the one case they actually will loan. There are very few examples and very few loans that they do, and it's called the USDA direct loan, 10% or less. All right? And maybe it was because this person had lower buyer score and all that, but I'm not going to say what the score is because, like I said, in 5 weeks from now, it's going to change. All right? All I know is it's a combination of the property has to score, and the person has to score, and so does the property. So even if the person qualifies and they want to buy a house in Marion County, they can't use it. All right?
So you were saying that in your example, you were the seller, somebody was buying it, it was an USDA loan, and then it was all, you were starting to say.
Oh, yeah. It's not an example. It's actually real life. Just closed it about 2 weeks ago. In this example, they had the home inspection, and the buyer said, yes, we'll do it, because our sellers came off the list price quite a bit. Said, yeah, we'll take your offer, but we're not really going to fix anything. And they came in and had an inspection, and there were some little things, and the buyer said, yeah, we're cool with this, let's close the deal. The lender popped up and said, time out, we're not cool with it. We're not allowing our money to go to a buyer or a borrower that's moving into a dangerous home. So we want that cracked window fixed. We want that 220 power outlet to be covered. We want a lock on the sliding door. What was the other thing? Do what? It wasn't the railing. Actually, it's a true story. It was Josh's parents that we just closed. That's why I was trying to remember. No, it was something stupid. It was something that like I said, the buyer on average would go, yeah, we can, we'll fix that. No, it was minor. Like I said, they had a sunroom or a Florida room, whatever you want to call it, outside of the house that had one of the panes of glass had a crack in it. They came in and said, oh, that window's broken, it's a hazard, we need it fixed. Really? Really? So there was a case of the lender actually dictated the repairs. And they had a special inspector that came out and did it. But the key part to this is in the ag loan, house qualifies and the person qualifies both. It's a good loan to use if you have a low-income area, low-income client, doesn't have a lot of money. Matter of fact, I think on this deal, they ended up only paying like $83 when they closed. That's how much they got this house for, $83 basically. And it was all repaired because our sellers had to repair it. All right? Did we go back up on the price?
Yes.
No, our sellers just wanted to get the deal done and didn't want to cause any more friction than they were causing friction in their own deal. They had way more friction in their side of the deal than we did. We got an offer, we signed it, said let's go. All right? Let's move to the next audio file.